Rumi didn't teach comfort, he taught collapse. The great lie of cozy Rumi. We have domesticated Rumi. In modern culture, Rumi is treated like a spiritual weighted blanket. We quote him to feel safe, comforted, and validated in our current state. We think of his mysticism as a cozy room where we can rest our weary souls. But this is a monumental misunderstanding. If you actually study his masterpiece, the Masnavi, you quickly discover that Rumi didn't come to bring you comfort. He came to bring you collapse. He wasn't interested in helping you build a slightly better, more peaceful version of your ego. He wanted that ego completely demolished. To Rumi, the spiritual path is not a gentle walk. It is a catastrophic undoing of the self. Today we are stripping away the soft, New Age filters to explore the raw, uncompromising psychology of the Masnavi. We will look at why Rumi believed that before you can experience divine reality, your entire psychological structure must collapse. The trap of spiritual stagnation, the comfort ego. For the casual observer, comfort seems like a good thing. We avoid pain, we seek stability, and we build walls to protect our identity. But for the experts of Sufi metaphysics, the al-suluk, Rumi warns that this psychological comfort is actually a deadly trap. He calls it the comfort of the raw state, kami. When you are comfortable in your ego, you are like a frozen sheet of ice, completely isolated and rigid. In the Masnavi, Rumi compares the human ego to a stubborn, hard stone. A stone is comfortable being a stone. It doesn't change, it doesn't bleed, it doesn't suffer. But Rumi asks a profound question. What grows on a stone? Nothing. No flowers, no gardens, no life. To grow, the stone must be broken. It must collapse into soil. Rumi argues that the crises, the breakups, the failures, and the existential dread you experience in life are not punishments. They are the universe cracking your stone-like nature. If you run away from this collapse and seek superficial comfort, you remain a cold, barren rock forever. The alchemical ruin. Why the house must be demolished. For the filmmakers and thinkers watching, look at Rumi's brilliant use of spatial metaphors. He frequently talks about treasure buried under a ruin. Imagine you buy a plot of land, and buried deep beneath the foundation of the old, ugly hut on that land is a massive chest of gold. What is the very first thing you must do to get the gold? You don't paint the hut. You don't add nice furniture to it. You take a sledgehammer and you demolish it. You cause a total collapse of the house. To a bystander who doesn't know about the gold, you look insane. They will cry out, "Why are you destroying this house?" But the master builder smiles because he knows that the destruction of the house is the only way to reveal the treasure. This is the Sufi doctrine of fana, the annihilation of the self. Rumi teaches that your pride, your social status, and your intellectual certainties are that old hut. Divine love and spiritual trials are the sledgehammers. When your life feels like it is falling apart, Rumi isn't telling you to patch it up. He is telling you to let it collapse, because the treasure of your true divine essence is waiting underneath the rubble. The danger of being raw. Let's speak to the philosophers and scholars of mystical literature. Rumi famously summarized his entire life in 3 phrases. I was raw, I was cooked, I was burned. Notice that the final stage isn't cooked, it is burned. Cooking implies a controlled heat for utility. Burning implies total loss of control, total collapse of form. In a striking narrative in the Masnavi, Rumi gives us the brutal metaphor of a butcher and a sheep, or iron under a blacksmith's hammer. The iron cries out under the heavy blows, It begs for comfort, but the blacksmith says, "I am hammering you not out of hatred, but to make you into a beautiful, sharp sword." If the iron stays comfortable in the cold, it remains a useless lump of metal. The collapse of its shape in the fire is what gives it a higher purpose. Rumi's message to anyone going through a dark night of the soul is clear. Do not pray for the fire to be extinguished. Pray to boil well. Pray for the collapse of your raw nature so you can be integrated into something cosmic. The Architecture of Rebirth. So here is the ultimate takeaway from the real Rumi. If you are looking for a philosophy that validates your ego, excuses your stagnation, and promises a painless path to enlightenment, close the Masnavi. Rumi is not your poet. Rumi didn't teach comfort, he taught collapse. But remember this, in Rumi's world, collapse is never the end of the story. The collapse of the seed is the birth of the tree. The collapse of the ice is the flowing of the river. And the collapse of your false self is the only way to discover the immortal soul that can never be destroyed. Let the house fall, let the stone break, let the ego collapse. Thank you for watching. If this deeper, sharper look into Rumi's true philosophy moved you, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and tell me in the comments below, what part of your stone needs to break today? As always, keep seeking beneath the ruins.